I was a leader in the military. I worked as a flight engineer crew chief on flight platoon. I loved my job. Eventually, I had to move on, and one day I just found myself bouncing around from one irrelevant job to another until I ended up out of rope. I remember my first night homeless very clearly. The landlord evicted the guy I was staying with, and I got no place to go, and I was like, well, I got to go someplace. So I went and I slept outside under the bridge for the first time. It was January, cold, miserable. Every time a car would go over the bridge, it felt like bombs going off, and it gave me military flashbacks. So that was my first day. What ended up saving me was a heart attack, actually. What happened was the night before, I got caught in this torrential rainstorm, and I was just soaked to the bone, and I spent the night on the street, freezing, absolutely freezing. When you are soaking wet and it's cold and you have literally no options to get warm, I'll never forget it. It was the very next day that I keeled over. I ended up with 3 fractures in my spine, but through that I got connected to the VA, and then I got into my current housing. I always knew things would get better. Like I said, I'd been a leader in the military. I'd had a successful career. I knew what that felt like, and I wanted to feel it again. So being outdoors was never acceptable. And honestly, I think part of the problem is our entire capitalist system where everybody's just in it for themselves. I've always been a fan of socialism. Even when I was in the military, I was always impressed by how nobody in these socialist countries really seemed to be starving to death. And I think in our society, it is just this me first attitude. And I get it, but if we want to improve this world, we've got to do a better job of watching out for each other.